Hopefully I'm recording as well. Okay, so first, thank you for coming to this live session. I really appreciate it. Let me share the screen before we start it. Wait, I was actually sharing the screen already. Okay, and I can go to good notes. Wait. Yeah, so this is the notes for the that they're right to explain the like a specific roles for the ticketing system, and there's like a 3 parts that we need to work on, which are database and authentication and API design. So like just feel free to toss out your ideas about like how familiar you are with one of those. If you guys are really familiar with one of those like skills or field, whatever you want to call it, then just like feel free to let me know, and so that we can discuss more about the like what's gonna be the like a appropriate task that I can assign you guys. So how many of you guys familiar with database?
I'm familiar with like data grip, but not Mongo.
Yeah, other than
not
what we
Mongo.
took for 323, not
323.
Mongo or Mongoose.
Okay, but you guys are familiar with like the purpose of using database and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or designing the UML diagram.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Diego's gonna work on the database as well. So for now, database like okay, but if you guys want to work on it, like yeah, I'd be glad to. And authentication system, are you guys like interested in, or?
I'm interested in all of it, but I don't have too many skills around it.
I would say the same as Joey. Open to a lot of these new technologies, more just wanted to like learn or have something so that we could start learning it, if that might make sense.
Okay, so then I think more than authentication, but you guys have to decide either authentication or API design. So that's like a kind of main task that we need to do, because database like Diego's already working on it, so it's fine. And authentication system, I may be working on this a lot too, because like this is a main part of the ticketing system, because we have to restrict the users that we have to open it for the public, the hold the tickets and like the tasks like going on should be accessed like publicly, but at the same time the people who can only modify that should be like a members only. So in order to achieve that, the authentication system is like really necessary. So, and this is like a pretty important part, so I might be working on that. So if you guys want to work with me in the authentication part, then yeah, feel free to join here. And API design, I can help you out, but are you guys like familiar with it, or?
I'm not, but I'm down to take the task on.
Same
Okay,
here.
sure.
I'm following that the video that 8-hour video you linked about Node and Express at the moment. So I'm only like maybe 3 hours into it, but
okay. Yeah, then is there anyone who actually want to take part of this one, API design? Like you're gonna be in charge of like all the API designs like overall. So like I actually designed a little bit, but I think you can design like all the way from the bottom and like a completely new one. So like basically it's writing a documentation first. Like you guys have to create the documents that actually explains like okay, there's gonna be like a /home, this is gonna be home directory, and this is gonna be where okay, so like this would be used for the authentication, and so forth. And there's going to be get method, the post method, and the put and delete. And learning all about those is basically how to learn like what REST API is. So the learning curve will be that the learning about the REST API first, the concept of it, and then you guys can work on the documentation about actual routes that we want to use. And then you guys can move on to actually writing the Express.js code. So this is what API design team will do. And if you guys are interested, then let me know, because yeah, I might be working on authentication part only. And
Yeah, I'm doing work on number 3. I got to learn it eventually, so now is probably the best time.
okay, was it Joey or?
Yeah, it's Joey.
Okay. Wait.
Is it only these 3 that are open right now? I see that you have front end on below.
Well, I would say front end. I don't think we have time to finish that. But if you're interested in front end, like, yeah, feel free to. Just yeah, like you can use a Figma to draw the outline of the front end, the web page, or if you're interested in React, you can definitely use the React too. But I rather do with the HTML and JS, just JavaScript would be fine. Are you interested in like a front end, Daniel?
I guess, well, if I were to choose between the 3 that you mentioned, I'd probably be more interested in API design as well. But yeah, probably API design if we don't have time for front end at the moment.
Okay, that's also cool. I can just assign you guys in the API design then.
That's cool with me.
Yeah, that's awesome because I was not expecting this, but this is perfect. I
Ben,
thought everyone wanted to do like front end or database. Sorry.
sorry, hi. I just came in a little bit ago. Can you talk about the database portion?
Sure. Sam. Okay. So database basically we need to use the MongoDB and Mongoose to interact with the MongoDB. So like there's going to be a MongoDB database. We're going to install it like locally in the development phase, but eventually we're going to use the cloud server. I'm not doing it right now because I don't want to share my credentials. But eventually we're going to do that. But in order to develop, in order to make the schemas and test if it's like running correctly, you have to install the MongoDB locally in your environments, and then you have to well, you install this with the npm, so like that'll be easy. And so you use a mongoose library to interact with the MongoDB, and there's like a documentation for the mongoose, and you can just like follow it. And also you are going to be in charge of the writing the UML diagrams. I have a outline for the UML diagrams, but feel free to modify it and like enhance it. So and then if you feel like there's like a another schema, they call it schema. So like if you think there's another models or schema needed, then you can create the UML diagram for that as well. But for now, we are only thinking about user diagram and user model and the comments model and the ticket model. And those 3 is going to be all the models that we're going to actually implement for the database. And yeah, it's not going to be that tough, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, the I forget where you posted that. I remember seeing it. Was that in the video from Saturday or?
Yeah, that was in his workshop video from the slides.
Okay, that's what I remember then. Did you post the slide somewhere or?
Oh, I can definitely post the slides. I just didn't post it because I I thought it's like kind of not really, the quality was like not really good, but I can definitely post it.
Seemed very informative from what I remember.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, yeah,
Um,
I can definitely post it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was gonna jump into the that tutorial link that you posted. But I'm still thinking whether to do database or API at this point. So
You can also do authentication part as well, because I'm
okay,
gonna be working on it, and there's no one actually participating yet.
okay. And what sort of documentation would I need to look into that?
For the authentication.
Yeah.
Uh, well, let me, because authentication is like kind of important to know like the flows. Well, I can, if you want to work on authentication, that I can just like do the workshop real quick later. Or documentation or authentication. Well, if you go to YouTube and there's like a lots of authentication system implementation or Node.js, and I think you can start from there. Just type the Node.js plus JWT on the YouTube, and there's going to be lots of tutorials there.
You
So
said
we're gonna be using the
Node.js.
JWT.
Sorry, one more time. Node.js and then JWT.
Node.js and the JWT. So JWT is basically just like tokens. I guess I think it's like hashed using SHA 256. It's just like a hash token.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And it verifies it. Depends on the user sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
And I'm also
But you
guessing
can learn
for
a lot. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm guessing for the API design, like a resource that would help us would be that that Node and Express course that you linked.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna help because like the course that I linked is basically it's not just about the Node.js, but it's about like Express.js. So Express.js like basically how you run the server using Node.js. This is like a the most basic implementation of like a server using the Node.js. And then, like running server actually means like it's managing the APIs and the routes. You know, if you go to if you go to slash, what you're gonna return. If you go to like a slash auth, what you're gonna return depends on what kind of method you kind of allows. Those are what server does. We're as a client, we're requesting. So like let's say this is like a web browser, and I click the button here, and in here there's like a JavaScript code that says like okay, if you click this request,
It makes a
well,
request
I'll say like
based on
request
that.
something to the backend.
Okay.
So request something to like this URL, and then in the backend when it gets it, it's gonna decide that okay, is this like a get method? Because like we only accept the get method.
Yeah, because the other one is
Okay.
post, right?
Yeah, the other one is post. If this is like a post, and then if we like implement it as like okay, we deny that post method, then it's gonna deny, the server's gonna deny it. And depends on the, yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, because from what I remember, because I'm actually working on online service for my internship, and I'm using Django, and it's all Python based. And from what I've learned, get only you're able to send I guess post has the ability to change information within a database, while get doesn't have that permission, right?
Well, it really depends on how you implement it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a get, so like how you use the get, so like how you send the data from the client to the server using get would be that when you go to like your URL, if you go to your web browser, and sometimes you see like those like a questionnaire mark,
Yeah,
and the
Q something.
name,
Yeah.
name equals to like bed, and then like and person is like age is like 13 and ampersand. Those are get method. You know, like when you receive this in the server, you can query this as like okay, I got the request objects, and then that has like a name.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this is how you access it. So like get method is like it can also change the database as well. It's just like it's not safe because like you're exposing this plain text on the URL.
Correct.
So if you're sending some like really critical information, should be post. And the those authentication system mostly use post because you can wrap it in the inside of the headers, all the information.
That makes sense.
So that's like the difference between get and post. So yeah, API design team will be in charge of this. When we're gonna use get, when we're gonna use post, what's the reason, and how many routes we're gonna use, and what each route's gonna do,
Mhm.
what kind of data we need to send it back to clients, something like that.
Makes sense.
And I don't know, are you interested in front end part or?
Yeah, because of the work that I've been doing, I kind of feel like I kind of know what that would sort of be entailed, but I haven't really had any experience with Node.js at all.
Okay,
But
then
do you feel like you
yeah.
would need more people on authentication?
Authentication, yeah, it'd be great if I can have like one person. Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay.
Because like doing it everything by myself is like kind of, it's not fun.
No, I get it. Yeah, I'll look into for right now. I'll start doing research on authentication and looking up Node.js JWT then.
Yeah, sure. Sam, right?
Yes.
So Sam's gonna be working on here. So like depends on what you guys choose.
Mhm.
Joey and Daniel are gonna do the API design, and Sam's gonna do the authentication. I already assigned the task to the Diego as well. So I'm gonna be sending out as like a small task. It's like really easy ones. You guys can finish it by this week, but no pressure. If you can finish it, just like let me know. It's not like I know you guys are all busy, so like I don't want to like give you guys like too much pressure on it. This is just like side projects that we just like do for fun, so no pressure at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, before you erase that front end part, how did you feel about, like, let's say, if I was interested in front end also, would you want like me to only focus on API design, or would you also like be okay with me like looking into front end? This is just hypothetical, by the way. Just wondering what your thoughts on like switching teams was.
So like if you're interested in front end, and if you feel like, oh, I can do front end implementation at the same time while I'm doing the API design, you can definitely do that. Just like push the codes on the GitHub like separately, so that I can like merge it a little bit easily. So like, yeah, you can just like push the code with like a front end implementation by what was it, Daniel or Julie?
Daniel,
I
yeah.
can't really Daniel, right? Because it doesn't really tell me who's talking.
No, it's okay.
Daniel.
But it's all like if we have time, of course.
Yeah, sure. And I can definitely help you guys with front end implementation as well. Yeah, so like just make sure you push with the right naming convention, the branch with the right name convention, and so that I can just recognize, okay, just like a front end change. And honestly, front end part, I don't really give a really thing about front end part, because it really depends on what we do on the back end. So as long as it's working, just feel free to do whatever you want to do on the front end. I really don't mind. Yeah, just be creative as much as you can. That'll work if you want to work on it.
Okay, yeah, cool. We'll probably focus more on the API stuff first, but then if we do have time, we'll contact you about that.
Yeah, sure. And if you guys have any technical issues, like feel free to reach me out. Um, and I'll be posting all the assignments. If you guys go to the GitHub page and the GDSC ticketing system GitHub page, the repository page, there's 4 issues. Go to the issues tab. And there's like the 4 issues that I already created. I need to, I think I need to make it a little bit more precise. Create a route for yeah, like create routes for authentication. It's like too vague, I think. So I can, yeah, I can make it more like a precisely. But for now, yeah, I might be assigning API team to create routes for the authentication eventually, but I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be more like I'm gonna more specify on the like you guys tasks. And the implement authentication logic and control following requirements. I think I need to change that as well. So authentication logics. Okay, so Sam's gonna be working on authentication part with me. So we're gonna be talking about the logics first, and I think I might assign you some small task with using JWT.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be posting on the GitHub issues, and I'll let you know, definitely let you know once I post it. And create routes for authentication. It's like too vague. I might change it, and after I change it, I'll let you guys know, Joey and Daniel, about like what specific tasks you guys need to do. And that'll be it. Yeah. Just wait until tomorrow. And those tasks, I promise you guys, like those tasks will not be very hard. It's something that you guys can do by this weekend.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. And then real quick,
So,
Ben, you
Mhm.
said there's issues, like an issues folder in the GitHub.
it's
Oh,
not
it's
actually a folder.
It's a tab.
Yeah.
If you look on the top side, there's code, issues, and pull requests,
Oh, my
actions.
bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Right now, those are like very vague, so I'll just like need to specify more a little bit. And I think that's it for today. And let me stop this. Let me stop the recording. I'll just
And will you share the recording